I'm Mona Santana. This is my daily gratitude list where I list and talk about 5 things I'm grateful for that hopefully you can relate to as well. Number 1, I'm grateful for Halloween. Today is Halloween, so I figured, of course, I would do a Halloween show because it's pretty much my favorite holiday. I mean, I like all holidays, to be honest, but I think Halloween is probably my favorite because I do love dressing up in costumes, and as a kid, I loved trick-or-treating and just the whole spooky aspect of it all because I just kind of I've always been attracted to that sort of thing. So, it's great to have a specific day where everybody comes together and celebrates All Hallows Eve, which is what it used to be called, since evolved from being a celebration of the dead to what it is today, which is ultimately that's what it is, but we don't really think about that so much. We just kind of have these fun parties to go to and trick-or-treating, obviously. I think it's really great to see all the different costumes that people come up with and to come up with one for yourself if you're interested into doing that. And number 2, I'm grateful for pumpkins. Pumpkins obviously are carved into jack-o'-lanterns on Halloween, but I do love pumpkins for different reasons because you can make pumpkin pie, which is great. That's obviously an American thing, and but they're really good. And I love pumpkin pie, so I'm grateful for pumpkins for that. But then also the pumpkin seeds, because I do love pumpkin seeds and I eat them fairly often. And they're full of nutrients and stuff like that. And I also love orange. It's my favorite color, so I of course love pumpkins. They're not all orange. They come in like quite a wide variety, but the ones that we think of as pumpkins are orange. And they're kind of a great thing. And I love that we use pumpkins to carve out to make jack-o'-lanterns, and you put a light in it. And historically, they used turnips, which I thought that was really interesting in Ireland and Scotland when they first started doing that as a way to scare off the dead, which is interesting. Anyway, it's a really long history, Halloween, and it's a really interesting history. So if you're interested, you should definitely look into it because it's fun to read and learn about stuff like that. Number 3, I'm grateful for vampires. Actually, obviously vampires don't really exist. I mean, not really. But I know some vampires. I played a vampire. In fact, I've actually quite a few times been vampires for Halloween. Vampirella at Lucha Vavoom, I did that. I always wanted to do Elvira, but I never did. Of course, I can still do her sometime in the near future and might just do that for maybe next year. I don't know. Of course, everybody knows Dracula and Twilight and the Vampire Diaries, or I don't know. And there's an interview with a vampire. But the one vampire I think that stands out for me anyway is Vampira. Vampira was the first to do a TV show back in 1955. She had her own show. It was a Vampira show, and she would show scary movies of yore, which was kind of funny because it was the 50s. So you figure the movies must have been from the 20s or 30s. Maybe the 40s. I don't really know what she put on her show, but it only lasted a year because she refused to sell the rights to her character to the network. And so that character lived on anyway, historically. And what happened was really interesting with Vampira is that in the 1980s, I think 81 or 82 or something like that, some other TV network decided to revamp Vampira, the Vampira show, and she quit the project, and so they hired Cassandra Peterson, who is Elvira. And so she made the character of Elvira, which was obviously based on Vampira. But Vampira was none too happy about that, and she sued her, but she didn't win. But I think the characters are so completely different, though. So I think it's fair, and I love Elvira, and I love Vampira, too, so I'm glad they both exist. But I also really love Vampirella, who's a comic strip vampire, and she was really cool. But then, of course, there's Lily Munster and the Addams Family one. What was her name? I can't remember right now. That's weird. It slips my mind. Anyway, so I just think that that's like something we should feel grateful for is having these characters in our lives because they obviously add things to our life to be entertained by. Which leads me to number 4. I'm grateful for The Damned. The Damned was formed in 1976 as a punk band, but I kind of feel like they're sort of a new wave sort of punk band because they have all different styles of music, and the people in the band, Dave Vanian, Ryan James, Rat Scabies, And who am I missing right now? Oh my god, Captain Sensible. Anyways, all those guys are super cool because I got to meet them about 5 years ago. I got to play Vampira in a concert that they gave at the London Palladium. And I was go-go dancing as Vampira. There's like a video of it and everything. Night of 1,000 Vampires. And of course I got to know those guys a little bit. And most people would know them for their first song, New Rose. For me, the first song I ever heard by The Damned was a cover of Alone Again Or, which is originally by Love, Arthur Lee and Love. And I love that song. So I thought that their cover of it was phenomenal. And so I'm a big fan of The Damned, and more so now after having gotten to know them a little bit. And I think they're kind of one of those the originators of a particular sound. If you follow my show, then you know that I very much appreciate when there are artists who are willing to have their own particular point of view and are willing to put it out there, which, you know, isn't such an easy thing to do because you're opening yourself up to all kinds of criticism and stuff like that. But of course it was all great. So, you know, obviously we should be thankful for the music that The Damned brought into our lives. To me, just the most obvious thing to be grateful for is music. Number 5, I'm grateful for bats. You can't say you're grateful for vampires if you're not grateful for bats, because that's the whole concept of vampires came from vampire bats. Anyway, they're all different types of bats, but I think bats are really cute little creatures because you know what? They're the only mammal that flies. I mean, that's incredible. That's a pretty unique quality to have as a creature. They exist pretty much everywhere in the world, and they've been around for eons. I mean, there are fossils of them from like, I don't know, like 1 million years ago or something. And so they've you know, been around and with us for a really long time. They're almost like these little mini dinosaurs. These really sort of macabre looking creatures, but they're really not. They're really sweet and cute. I had a friend who actually had a pet bat. And so I thought, you know, getting to know a little bat, it's really not any different than a little bird or a cat or a dog. They're just another creature, and they're really sweet and lovable. And I'm grateful for bats. I'm grateful for Halloween. I'm grateful for pumpkins, vampires, The Damned, and bats. Those are all pretty Halloween-y things. But just generally speaking, Halloween is a lot of fun. I hope you're enjoying yours. And if you subscribe to my channel, I want to say thank you very much for doing so. And if you haven't, please do. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.